Hi, James. We hope you had a good flight to Panama. This is Joel, and I'm joined by Marla, who is our creative director for Natural Selection Design. We're here to walk you through our presentation of the brand identity that we've been working on for the last 2 weeks. So let's jump right into it. What we want to cover today is essentially a presentation of a visual identity that we've designed for Seraph Global Investment Syndicate. Now, this covers a wide range of different changes, so we're going to try to break it down into a clear strategy and then present you the studies that we've been working on as well as the approach. So I'll start off with some of the branding goals that have been driving us throughout this process so far. First off, we really wanted to design an identity that aligns with Seraph's current value proposition. The second thing would be to design an identity that aligns with the target audience's interests, lifestyle, and values. We'll talk about this in depth in just a second. And the last is to design an identity that is unique and trustworthy. So bringing you guys into the future is what we're working on here. So to start us off with a breakdown of your target market, a lot of this is gleaned from the workshop that we had, and it's basically also a compilation of the insights that I got from reading the portfolios and viewing some of the videos as well of your members. But essentially, I'm trying to categorize what their qualities are and what their interests are so we can make sure we're designing a visual system that really resonates with them. So first off, the age range, mid-30s to mid-70s. We're working with high net worth individuals, such as yourselves. These are members that would be interested mostly in diversifying and growing their portfolios. They are expressive of their desire to have successful exits and meeting like-minded and interesting people, as well as learning and participating in collective mentorship and community. So overall, the driving interests that we're appealing to with the design. Now, I also wanted to break down some of the qualities that I felt were quite descriptive of the audience that we want to continually approach and communicate with. So again, this is from your insight, but I'm trying to break it down into these four. And so we have self-aware, people that understand that they don't understand everything, people that are also experts in their own skill set, but then understand that they are lacking in certain areas and want to improve and learn from others and continually want to learn as well. These are also individuals that are adventurous, perpetually curious and willing to try new challenges, grounded and secure as well. So these are kind of the things that we're speaking to. Another thing we wanted to clarify is what your audience cares about. Now, when we're talking about high net worth individuals interested in joining this organization, the transparency and credibility of your investment opportunities is first and foremost. Caring about financial freedom and security, authentic, rewarding, and grounding relationships, and enjoying more to life would round things off for what they care about. Okay, so this is really the audience that we're speaking to, and we'd like to consolidate that and then discuss what we see as the current issues with your existing visual identity. So first off, when we're looking through the website, the main, I think, concern of ours is that the identity doesn't fully capture what Seraph is now. It speaks of the adventure, of the freedom, and the opportunities, but it doesn't quite fully capture the range of propositions. So that's one thing we're going to tackle. Another thing is that the name is, as we found, too associated, I think, with venture capitalism, just in its roots and its etymology. So we want to change the name to really try to capture the full breadth of what you guys offer. Third is the current brand doesn't clearly communicate that you guys are a part of a regulated identity. So we're going to be showing you how visually we could communicate that you're regulated, that you're more secure and credible. So let's start with the overall strategy. So first off, we're going to change the name, and we'll propose to you guys the name we came up with and the logo systems that were designed around it. We also want to propose to you an identity system that clearly communicates the three aspects of your value proposition, which would be great deals, great people, and great destinations. So this is our overall brand strategy, and let's start off with the name. So Clement and I have been working on a name I feel that would really solidify and consolidate who you are, and we were being guided by these naming criteria. So any name that we were choosing must communicate trust and reliability. It must be unique and easy to remember. It must have relevant and desirable associations. It must be suitable in any relevant language, and it must create opportunities for telling a story about the brand. So the story is really, I think, what's central to basically choosing a name that can start a conversation. So after a lot of deliberation, a lot of research in terms of finding the right fit, we were looking at different strategies. First, we tried to choose names that were related to crown and or royalty. We also tried to choose names that were pushing away from the traditional VC associated names, but really it's a matter, I think it boiled down to availability of what's out there, and also choosing a name that's unique. So we settled on the name Obris. Obris is a derivative from the Latin word obrusus or obricius, which means refined, assayed, and tested. And we felt, as we were researching, that this is really a good description of the experiences and the opportunities that you are presenting your members. So as a whole, it's an abstract word, it's also a derivative, but it is really going to capture the right kind of associations and connotations that we want. So when it comes to the name, fine metals, strength, expertise, it conjures up this imagery of goldsmithing and dealing with metals, and then also the creation of wealth. In terms of connotations, you're going to bring in the adjectives of secure, regulated, trustworthy, vetted, and genuine and refined. So as a name, that's what we're going to show you then how to visualize. So overall, though, we're still maintaining the three value propositions that we have currently, which are the deals, the people, and the places. Now, one thing I wanted to really consolidate and basically distill was your brand promise. Trying to understand who Obris is, I came up with this as a guiding promise. Established in 2012, Obris seeks to deliver on a simple promise: to enrich the lives of its members. To do so, we offer like-minded investors access to an exceptional range of unique opportunities. With our combined expertise in bringing people together, structuring bespoke deals, and organizing rewarding events and experiences around the world, our aim is to satisfy and surprise our members with remarkable service and distinctive deal flow. So as a driving brand promise, this should really help you guys make decisions moving forward and consolidate who you are. Now, going back to your target audience and the workshop insights that we had, I'm trying to narrow down the 4 core brand values that I think you want to consider when you're exploring new locations with this work, then with your brand. So it really boils down to being self-aware, adventurous, grounded, and secure. Opportunities is really what you guys, I think, are offering, and the ability to strike deals. So the ability to meet new people and meet opportunities is what we're trying to center around, and this is the verbal driver that we came up with. Opportunities abound. At this point, I'm going to turn you over to Marla here, who will be talking about the best design practices. This is some of the insights that she got here. So here's Marla.
Okay. Hi guys. So I think this is your first interaction with me. So what I bring into the table is explaining visual languages and showing best design practices. I like showing best design practices to clients because it allows clients to have an understanding of what we're looking at, which zeitgeist we're tapping into, and not necessarily to copy, but to reverse engineer what makes a company look so good and figure out what are those traits and elements that we want to be cascading into our own brand. So Opris is actually very fascinating to me because it's a company that's combining 3 very distinct identities, which would be community, investments, and destinations. And the thing is, those 3 traits are so powerful in itself that there is a look for deals, there is a look for communities, and there's already an established look and feel for travel companies. So the tension that we have to navigate is how do we meld all 3 without putting a disproportionate focus on any one of them. It's very tricky, but it helps to see good examples of what those individual traits may look like. So for my study 1, it's a company called Hedeker Wealth and Law. It's, let's say it's a consultancy group, but it's also big on community. It gives investment advice that's grounded in law principles, so they seem to be a one-stop shop that provides legal advice in tandem with community building and wealth building. I'm showing this because this is what a lot of people have in their mind when they think of institutional brands. So this is nice because it looks very authoritative, it looks very secure and grounded but modern. Okay, and it looks very premium. So this is their system. It's not too showy, it's not flashy, but you already know that they have clients that are high net worth individuals. They look trustworthy, they have very conservative colors, but there's also so much intentionality and detail with the way they execute their brand, and that already is reflective of the kind of company that they want to be. And this is their system. So it's very traditional, but wanting to be modern. So this is not what I want to what I see for Opris, but it's nice to know that this is what it would look like if we leaned into the investment and deals and authority part of the brand. And this is what's fascinating about this case study, because Hedeker has a newsletter which is really great for community building because it features a lot of articles and insights about the market, and it's designed in a very simple and clean but very youth-driven way. So this article is called "Will the Feds Raise the Rates or Not?" It's not necessarily alarmist, it's a good question to pose, but using strong typography in very offbeat and modernist ways shows that we are an institutional company, but we want to tap into a younger generation. We want to be future driven. We want to be looking into the future. And this is a trait that I want to be honing into for Obras. Okay? So for the first one, I don't see any adventure. I don't see any travel. There is some hint of community. And when it comes to looking for the community aspect, there's still something that you can glean from the VC world. I like this example of OpenView because it's a company that shows you that we are not an authority. We know what we're doing, but the ethos of communities is that you create a community so that you can learn from the people who are in it. You don't have just these, like a group of like 5 mentors and then they tell everybody what to do. The idea of a community is an ecosystem, so you don't want to look too much of a hierarchy. So what's the nice thing about OpenView? So they're a VC company that invests in software, but it doesn't look so clunky. It doesn't look so, there are no elements of gatekeeping. And I think that is what we want for the Obras brand. It's clearly a group, it's clearly exclusive, but there's no gatekeeping. It's not that impossible to get in there. As long as you have these traits, you are one of us. So the nice thing about OpenView is that you see an element of play, but not too much. It's playful, but there's still a sense of business. There is business that's happening within this company. So with a combination of what I'm seeing for Study One with Heidegger and maybe with OpenView, that's what I see for the Obras brand. Okay, so neon lights. And this is the OpenView website. So we want something very modern, and I'll get to that in a bit, because when we started digging around for the Obras visual identity, the visual driver yielded very interesting things for me to latch on to. Okay, Joel is the one who picked this quote, so I will allow him to explain this.
Well, I was looking at coming up with the header or a good kind of summary statement to include in the website, and I researched this quote that I remembered from Seneca, and I just felt that this idea of meeting opportunities and having a point where people can meet and confer and be presented with new opportunities to learn and to grow, it really just conjures that up. So that's basically why this is here, and you'll see how it will be used in just a second.
Okay. So this is your visual driver. So we got Jeep, we got Mezcal, we got Thailand, we got whitewater rafting. And if I were to just take this at a first glance, am I branding a travel company? No. But it tells me, though, that this is a company that has a lot of soul. It has a lot of, the spirit of adventure permeates throughout every one of its components. So for me, even though I really wanted to lean into, okay, let's make it look like an institution. Let's make it look more business. The visual driver reminds me that I have to insert that spirit of curiosity, that spirit of being offbeat. Because for somebody to go beyond their limits, to go beyond their comfort zones, these are is at the heart of the people that you want to be tapping into for community building. So we're going to see what that would look like. Your design character then, based on the visual driver, if we're just going to be looking at the traits, would be modern, daring, and learned. So for Study One, I will start with an icon that I created for Obras. So it's a circle, but it also looks like an O. So it has links to the actual word Obras into the word opportunity. But what I like about the circle imagery, when I made it thicker and I made it more 3D, it gives this element of strength and security, but at the same time it also alludes to Obras being a circle, a group. There's this element of exclusivity without the gatekeeping. And then I gave Obras a modern typeface because we want it to be modern and daring. And then the secondary colors would be blues. And this is the system that I came up for it. So I really wanted strong fonts, strong and no-nonsense typeface. And then for the colors, I took a lot of inspiration from adventure pictures, actually. So these are from skies, from glaciers, from night skies. And that's something that I want to infuse into the brand, because these are also colors that you see in the corporate world. But if you mix it up this way, it gives it a more romantic feel. And then for graphic elements, we have the O icon, and I will show you how we're going to use that. And then an O pattern that you could use for more formal applications. And this is what I propose the website could look like. So we fixate on the O icon, the O as a group, the O as a circle, and then we can actually use that space in the middle to put in a picture, and we can actually put in, this could be a slideshow, a carousel of other pictures, because it's a very powerful illustration of we are a group that could bring you into these places, could bring you into these experiences. And then here's a sample of how to use the icons for posters and for your business card. Okay, so that's study 1. For study 2, so I'm very big on using simple shapes, abstract shapes that can communicate multitudes. And why is that? Because we have this challenge that we're trying to communicate many things in one. And when we're trying to communicate many things in one, it's best to go simple. And when you own simple shapes, then you give the power to the consumer, to your market, to put in their own stories, so they can project how they see your company the way you see your company. So the icon that I'm selecting for study 2 is the horizon. So it's a semicircle, which is also a very useful key visual device, but the idea of a horizon gives an aspiration for the consumer to look at. So for this one, it shows this typeface because it's very fascinating. It's modern, but it has these interesting serifs at the end that aren't so traditional. So I think that also helps in building the brand and in communicating to your target market that we are modern, but we also hark back to some tradition and to some institutionality. Okay, this is it in reverse. And this is it as a system. So I like creating really strong bones with the black and the fog, and then putting in some color for that sense of adventure. And this is what I propose your website could look like. So a lot of dramatic pictures. You are a group, but for this study, well, why don't we put the focus on the individual, on self-mastery, in self-examination, and being able to push yourself. So putting that picture and juxtaposing that into a community group, I feel is very powerful. So we do all of these pictures for the destinations, for pictures of community, and then you put in that device, the horizon device, and then when your logo, it already shows you that I don't know what this is, but this is interesting. This is something that makes me want to think what lies beyond this picture. And these are your business cards. And that's the end of our presentation.
So thank you guys for listening through it. In terms of some next steps to consider, I'd like you to go through it and discuss which one of these 2 studies that we came up with you feel best captures the direction we're heading in. And just let us know. You can give us your feedback, get in touch with me. We are very much looking forward to hearing from you guys, and we hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you, and have a good one.